Do I look thin?
You look perfect.
That's not my answer to the question.
So tell us about you.
So hi, my name is Sako Dersahagian. I'm originally was born and raised in Lebanon, but now I currently reside in Copenhagen. Yeah. And I'm a fashion designer, I'm a drag performer, and I'm an all-around fun time.
So how is this all-around fun time now in Eleusis?
It's been a very lovely experience, I will say. At first, it felt I was staying in an apartment slightly outside, and the first night felt a little scary because it felt like there was nothing happening around. But then the more and more we got to explore, the more and more we realized the sort of life of the city is very beautiful, and it happens much later in the day than I would have expected. Yeah, it's been very lovely. The food's been amazing.
So how is your experience regarding the performance and residency, and also knowing that you attended some other European Capital Culture events, like your overall experience?
Well, first of all, the Metamorphosis performance has been an incredible performance in general. First of all, the theme felt very much close to home, because where I'm from, we also have this problem of sort of this clash between the past and the present happening, where the people living in the present have to deal with the repercussions of decisions made by people much higher up, and the way it's affected people has been the way it affects people in general felt very relevant to sort of the problems we're having today in the world, I guess. Also, what I've loved so much is this idea of site-specific performances, because in Copenhagen we don't really there's this focus on a lot of modernity of what is contemporary and what is new and what is relevant, while here it's very much still attached to this idea that like the scenery that's around you is so beautiful and breathtaking that you can really create a scenography based on sort of things that are already around you. So it's been a very eye-opening experience to sort of witness, I would say.
Are you inspired as an artist at all?
Very much. A lot of my work deals with a lot of this sort of temporality of like past, present, and future. And I think this idea of being in a place that is so seeped in history and seeped in sort of general consciousness of history has been really inspiring to sort of be a part of in general, because to see how people and artists sort of deal with history and identity and current problems at once is a very inspiring sort of take on art, I would say.
So tomorrow you start working on a piece of art or a whole collection and whatever about Eleusis, let's say. Would you focus on its ancient Greek era, its industrial heritage era, its contemporary period?
I think if I was going to do something about it, it would have to be a mix of everything, because they are not two separate sort of scenes. I think for a person relevant living here today, it makes sense to sort of incorporate the history of sort of the space with what is happening today, because like I don't think there's a difference between the ancient ruins, and the ruins we saw at the graveyard of the ship graveyard, because they are technically also going to be ruins. They are ruins. So it's like a modern and ancient ruins at once. It's how artists can sort of connect with that scenography.
Yeah, similarities where you're coming from with the Eleusis and the main difference, I say. If there are any.
Well, I would say there's more differences than similarities. I think there's a lot of similarities between Eleusis and Beirut rather than Eleusis and Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a very clean, rule-oriented sort of place, and it's been really nice to go back to a place that feels a little bit more chaotic, and it feels a little bit closer to home, where people will sort of go with the punches of what's going on rather than resist it a little bit. It's both sad, and I think it's both beautiful, because it's a matter of general spirit, because no matter what comes through, no matter what is thrown at you, you kind of have to deal with it and sort of figure out a new way of dealing with what's happening, because there are decisions being made that not one single person can sort of affect change. They're coming from a much higher place, and the way the general population deals with it is by sort of normalizing it, or kind of dealing with what's happening rather than trying to resist against it. Yeah, I would say that.
You meant about the wealth, higher places, right?
I meant like people in charge up there, the 1% up there, sort of making these big decisions of for example, setting up these industries that don't really affect, or they don't really think about how it would affect the general populace in the city, right? So there's people in charge higher up that are, they think about the general accumulated wealth rather than the values that could be instilled in people for the future in general, specifically when it comes to sort of the climate and the deterioration that these industries are creating in the city.
Anything else you would like to add? Or?
No, I hope I get to come again. It's a lovely place. I really would love to visit it again. There have been moments that have taken my breath away, with Metamorphosis and other sort of projects that have been happening around the city. It's been really eye-opening and really beautiful.
Thank you, Sako.
Thank you.